UN will speak just on one voice. Although I've been assigned, I've been tasked to be here on behalf of the resident coordinator because I'm working in her office. But the UN statement has been made by the resident representative of the UNDP. What I would like just to do is share some food for thought in this very important gathering, trying to draw from my little experience as a member of, as a UN staff in election processes in some African countries like in Togo twice in 2012 and 2018, in the Comoros, Republic of Comoros in 2019, recently in Niger in 2020, and prior to that in my own country in Senegal. I'm from Senegal, and I've been also for UN and for prior to that for USAID, been part of election process in year 2000 when we first had that alternance with President Abdoulaye Wade, and in year 2012, before going to Togo, when Macky Sall was first elected as a president. So just to say that, actually, let us remind it that, let's not take this as granted. Gathering other political parties and talking during transition period, but also in sensitive moment like election processes. It's not obvious, and just let us be in mind that this is very, very important step you're taking toward peaceful elections. I'm saying that because we've observed that in countries where there has not been processes like this, the elections have been chaotic, either before or after or during the elections. Let's just give a few examples. I'm sure you all know that, but it's important that we remind ourselves. Recently in Niger, we worked very hard as a UN and other donors to get political parties to work together and sit together, have a code of conduct, and commit to peaceful elections. They were not ready for that. But individually, when you talk to political leaders, they say, fine, we are in favor of peaceful election, we are in favor of not supporting violence. But at the end of the day, there was no prior commitment and prior acceptance of the result, whatever they will be, or commitment to go through peaceful dispute resolution or election results dispute resolution. That's why we had all these demonstrations and riots and violence that erupted after the result were proclaimed in Niger. Another country where it happened also was in the Comoros, year 2019. UN worked with the African Union to get political parties to commit into working together and have a code of conduct for the elections. We could not obtain that commitment and that engagement. And what happened at the end of the day, when the result was proclaimed, there was a front that has been created by opposition political party saying that they are the legitimate. They have the legitimate result, and they did not accept the result proclaimed by the Electoral Commission. And finally, it ended up into massive arrests. The opposition leaders who were arrested, put into jail, and this also happened recently in Côte d'Ivoire. When the opposition party did not recognize the election of President Ouattara. And because prior to that, there was no dialogue between the political party. So let us not take this for granted. Having this opportunity to work on a process to to come together and adopt a political conduct and a memorandum. I think that's something very important. And where it worked well, we've seen that. We've seen it in Ghana, we've seen it in Burkina Faso, where the political parties prior to the election adopted a code of conduct and committed to use peaceful dispute resolution. I mean, using institutional and constitutional means to protest if they have any protest on the result of the election. So therefore, I think for the UN, it is important to reiterate that the UN is here to help, to facilitate, to support you come together and find solutions. But we all know also that the solutions can come only from the Gambians, can come only from you. And we are delighted that you are committed to this process and you are engaged in this process. Last comment I would like to emphasize, we all also need to bear in mind that it's not an easy process. It's not an easy process. We're sure it's going to be very difficult. Some have to make concessions, but we all just be minded that at the end of the day, the only winner will be Gambia. The only winners will be Gambians, and that's what we are calling on you and encouraging you, particularly the leaders who have a decisive role to play in this process. And we hope that all of this will end up into peaceful election, no violence, and the results accepted. If not, at least to use the constitutional means to solve any dispute. Those are the words I would like to share with you, and available during all the process also to work with you and, if possible, provide help and assistance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Speaking on behalf of the UN Resident Coordinator, again I have the honor and privilege to invite Mr. Claude on behalf of the Ecowas Ambassador. Mr. Claude, you are invited.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator. The Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, distinguished leaders of political parties, co-chairs and members of the Inter-Party Committee, representative of the UN resident coordinator, the resident representative of UNDP, and staff of the UN system present here, the ambassador of the United States of America, the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, Charge d'Affaires of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the heads of international organizations, specifically the International Republican Institute, National Democratic Institute, and the International Foundation for Electoral Systems, IFES, President of the Gambia Bar Association, the Executive Director of Tango, the National Coordinator of WANEP, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. I bring you greetings from the Ecowas Commission in Abuja, Nigeria, and the Ecowas Permanent Mission in the Gambia. First and foremost, I would like to take the opportunity to express my profound thanks and appreciation to the people and government of the Republic of the Gambia for their continued steadfastness and aspirations for the consolidation of peace and democratic governance in the country. I am doing this on behalf of the President of the Ecowas Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Cassibrou, and his special representative to the Gambia, Her Excellency Baba Gayflor, who is unavoidably absent. This inaugural quarterly meeting of the Inter-Party Committee seeks to facilitate dialogue among its members and further serves as an information and experience sharing forum. It is a significant step forward in equipping members of the Inter-Party Committee, especially newly registered parties, with information regarding the MOU and Code of Conduct to facilitate dialogue, cooperation, coordination, and collaboration amongst them, which is desirable for the future of democracy in this country. I therefore thank the UNDP profusely for its support to the IPC and the electoral process in the country. Equally, I am craving the indulgence of the international community to continue to support the IPC for it to perform its functions effectively and efficiently in order to enhance the consolidation of democracy in the Gambia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it could be recalled that in June 2019, as part of ECOWAS's effort to contribute to the consolidation of democratic governance in the Gambia, which is in consonance with the 2001 ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance, the ECOWAS EU Peace and Stability Mandate Project supported the IPC in the popularization of its Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, and Code of Conduct to keep the public well informed about the full contents of the documents. This is a clear demonstration of the remarkable efforts of ECOWAS in promoting democratic governance in the Gambia. Having said that, it is significant to note that the role of political parties in multi-party democracy is quite pivotal. According to international idea, strong and sustainable democracy is dependent on the existence of well-functioning political parties. Political parties play an important and necessary role in the life of the democracy as they form the building blocks of democracy and good governance in any country. Consequently, the Inter-Party Committee's role as representative of the collective aspirations of the people of the Gambia is quite fundamental, as the Gambian population regards the IPC as an epitome of hope for the conduct of peaceful, transparent, and credible elections in the Gambia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, it is heartwarming to note that we currently have 17 political parties, registered political parties, and there are more in the pipeline. This has broadened the political space and given room to inclusiveness and political participation. It is against this backdrop that I honored the IPC's invitation to deliver a solidarity statement this morning as a commitment by ECOWAS to continue to support the IPC in its efforts to consolidate peace and democratic governance in the Gambia. I am therefore of the firm conviction that this inaugural meeting will establish and promote trust and cooperation among the political parties in order to build consensus not only on the conduct of free, fair, transparent, and credible elections, but also issues of national interest. For this, I wish you all fruitful deliberations. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claude, for doing the advocacy on behalf of the IPC. And I think you did it at the right place. This is where we have our partners with whom you are working with. And I believe you have all other partners on the pipeline with whom IPC will be collaborating with. At this juncture, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Diplomatic Corps, to invite His Excellency, the High Commissioner of UK, to the podium.
Co-chair of the IPC, IEC chairman, political leaders, UNTP resident representative, other members of the UN, colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps and from Ecowas. Please allow me to stand on existing protocol. I'm really pleased to be here today and to be at this event. I was talking to a very experienced electoral expert just a few days ago, and he said to me, good elections are a state of mind. He said you can have strong electoral systems but bad elections, and you can have weak electoral systems but good elections, and it all depends on the political will and the spirit that people enter into those elections. I'm very aware, as everybody is in this room, that it's going to be a complex electoral environment here, particularly with the ongoing discussions around potential constitutional changes, and that, if we're not careful, can leave itself open to difficulties. And so this is why I'm so pleased to see this room and people here to collaborate and work towards peaceful, fair and transparent elections. And I was really pleased to learn that there is a memorandum on a code of conduct. But it is really gratifying to see everybody here today. Also, I would mention civil society. It's really good to see them sitting down with political leaders as well. But just to pick up a point from the UNDP resident representative, as having been nominated a gender champion this year, I will again stress the need for women's participation in the elections. It is so important that 50% of your population feels represented in their government. And so I urge all political leaders to do their best to actually increase women's participation here. So I'm not going to speak for long because, well, one, I wasn't expecting to speak. But just to say, I wish you all the very best for the continued deliberations and for this continued collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was making a rundown of the agenda before us, and what gathered us here is quarterly breakfast meeting of political party leaders. And one would wonder that in the agenda there is nowhere stated we break at this hour for breakfast. It was deliberate, and we are now going to pause for 20 minutes for the breakfast to be served. Let me make this announcement. The first 3 tables in front and the second 3 tables in the middle, the first and the second, remain seated, and the staff of the center will provide the services. Colleagues, media, and other invitees, for us, you will have to walk to the breakfast table, collect our breakfast, and then go back to our respective tables. So we are going to break between 20 and 25 minutes to have our breakfast. Thank you. I think this is the best moment for the cycles, bilateral and stuff.
This is the quarterly meeting of Interparty in the Gambia. All the 17 political parties and their leaders are having dialogue in terms of how we will conduct our election to have peaceful election come 2021 December. Amol, can you just take me a quick rundown of what is actually happening? Because people don't understand, so let me just... Actually, 17 political leaders have met here today in OIC building, OIC building today to discuss about the upcoming election and the agreement that they have made, what we call the Inter-Party Committee, a memorandum of understanding between the 17 registered political parties in the Gambia, sponsored by Ecowas, UN, for Gambia to have a peaceful election come December 4th, when we go back to the polls to decide who will steer the affairs of the country for the next 4 years. So all the 17 political parties are here gathered at OIC building today to discuss about the way forward of the country, how we can live in harmony to have a peaceful election come December 4th, and also to look at the memorandum of understanding that the political parties have signed so that they can all adhere to this agreement. But the chairperson of the committee, who is chairing the whole event, is Amul Nyas. I just want to hold him so that he could give me a brief rundown of actually what is transpiring here. You can see the Dr. Caesars, UDP, Dabos, the Yamsekas of UDP, Halifa Sallah of PDOIS, Musa Bachile of GAP, Henry Gomez of GDP, all of them are here, all the 17 political parties. Amolnyas, can you just give us a brief rundown of what is happening here today at OIC building?
Don't worry, I can move the mask. Yeah. Thank you very much, X. This is the quarterly breakfast meeting of the 17 registered political party leaders. The event is meant to promote dialogue among the political party leaders. Because if you look at it, we are going towards the 2021 presidential election. So therefore it's important we come up with a mechanism in which political party leaders will be talking to one another. Political party leaders will be talking to their sympathizers. They will be able to let their sympathizers understand that we are at liberty to support the party of our choice based on the manifesto, you may call it, based on whatever tools that the political party is trying to sell before the Gambian electorate. So as IPC, we deem it fitting that we should have such an event every 3 months where we will bring party leaders, in the same room, talk to one another, look at burning issues in the country, come up with ideas, strategize how to put a stop to them if they are not of interest to the nation. Basically, this is what the whole concept is all about. Again, it is their responsibility in ensuring that they put IEC to task in giving us free, fair, transparent and credible election come December 2021 presidential election. So in a nutshell, this is what we are witnessing. This is the inauguration of what would be the quarterly breakfast meeting of party leaders. UNDP, I must commend for giving us the funds, because IPC presented the budget to UNDP. UNDP agreed to fund it 100%. And here again, I will recognize the supporting role of Ecowas, WANEP, IRI, and as I speak to you, NDI is also on the verge of trying to forge a relationship with IPC. Why? Because they were following us when we were reviewing the election bill. NDI built interest, they followed it from start to finish, and they saw us as worthy partners that they can do business with. So as I am speaking to you, we will finalize the document between us and NDI today, and once that is done, hopefully during the course of next week, we will sign the MOU with the NDI. So in a nutshell, this is what is actually transpiring here at the International Conference Center. But I must also thank my co-chair, a seasoned politician for that matter, Right Honorable Halifa Sall, for the guidance and the support, because I am co-chairing the IPC with him. But I must confess that having him in our midst is a blessing to the IPC. And again, I don't think the respective parties have also made the mistake of nominating people to serve in the IPC, because every member of the IPC, irrespective of which party you come from, they have shown the passion, the determination and the dedication, such that myself and the co-chair, we are always at liberty to continue doing our work while the IPC is operational. So that could have not happened if the members of the IPC have not shown the determination, commitment and the passion for which their parties appointed them to serve in the IPC. So that being said, yeah, thank you very much for that question. It's one of the areas in which UNDP is interested in forging a relationship with the IPC, because UNDP have the belief that youth and women play a pivotal role in our democratization process. So as a result, they ask us to see a way out of having a youth-led IPC, which we have gone very far because the TOR have been drafted. We reviewed the TOR last week, Thursday, and today, at the end of this event, the IPC members will stay together with us, the co-chairs, to harmonize the TOR, and once it is harmonized, it will be sent to the UNDP. And another document that we will be reviewing is the MOU that we are going to have between us and NDI. So these two documents are very important. That is why at the end of the event, IPC members will stay maybe for another 30 minutes to review the two documents, harmonize them, and then they become a binding document between us and the two donor partners.
We had a request from the representative.
I can hear you.
I said we had a request from the requesting for you to have an IPC women's
Yeah, because for that, we will have to think about it again. Because if you look at the composition of the IPC now, we have a good representation of women. And this was able to happen, this was able to materialize because what we did is we tasked each party to be gender sensitive when nominating people to come and serve in the IPC. That is why if you look at the representation of parties in the IPC, women are well represented. So that there may not be a need to have a women-led IPC, looking at what obtains currently. But for the youth, yes, we have youth in the national IPC, but they are not that much represented. So having a youth-led IPC will help in ensuring that all the organs of the state are operational, are functional, because these are the people that party leaders will go to canvass for votes. So that's where we are, and as we can see, now we are on the breakfast proper before we come to the second phase of this engagement.
Yeah. Honorable, before I go, you guys are championing what we call the election. We have almost a few months before the election, and why I wonder why still now the election is for the National Assembly, because the Constitution has already clearly stated that 6 months before the election you cannot change any law that has to do with the election. And we feel necessary that there are some laws that are in our election that has to be changed before we go to the election. How far would you that?
Well, I don't think I would be in a position to answer to that question. You have IEC, the chairman is here, the CEO is here. They may be in a better position to tell you what is holding it. But as you are aware, as far as IPC is concerned, we've done our bit, and that's where we can stop. So bringing it to Parliament is the responsibility of IEC through the Ministry of Justice. But what I can say here is, I think there is still time, and for whatever that IEC may want to bring to the National Assembly through the Ministry of Justice. So it's still not late. And we've also heard from the chairman, he have made it clear that the Supreme Court have made a ruling that Gambians in the diaspora will have the right to participate in our elections. So I think that is also another step forward in our democratization process. So on that note, I want to thank all and sundry for gracing this occasion.
That's the co-chairperson of the Inter-Party Committee, that's Amul Nyas, chairing with Honorable Halifa Sallah, who is the chairman, and he's the co-chairman representing the opposition parties in the Gambia. Today we are here at OIC building, where we have seen the gathering of 17 registered political parties to sit and have dialogue, for us to have a free and fair election come December 4th in the Gambia here, because it's very important for us to have that free and fair election after 22 years of dictatorship, or one could say 22 years of our former President Jammeh. And we have seen the registration of political parties ranging from 5 political parties now to 17 political parties, and we must have this dialogue so that we will have peaceful and fair election. And IEC2 is here represented, civil societies are here represented. And we have seen the representative of all the 17 political parties here at OIC building to discuss about the way forward for the Gambia. So at the end of the day, it's a win for our country. All the political parties, from Mama Kande to Musa Bachile to Dr. Sumaila Sise to Fabaka Tombonjada to Honorable Khalifa Shallah to Auntie Yam Seka, all of them are here. All the political parties are here. My parties, everybody is here. The civil society, everybody is here. As you can see, we are going for a breakfast for 20 minutes. And we will be back with you. Everybody will hear what actually transpired in this Kairaba OIC building today to discuss about the way forward of our country. Everybody is eating, and I'm the only one who is not eating. So I will just stop this video here and have my breakfast. And when they resume, I will bring you the live coverage of actually what transpired here today. Thank you for being here. I will always be there for you. To give you the information. It is a collective responsibility that we all have a role to play in trying to shape the future of this country, and I feel like this is the way I can contribute, by disseminating the information, so that if you are informed, then you will make an informed decision. And I think we will all have a fruitful deliberation today. So I'm off, taking my breakfast. The Fatika Kundangos are eating, so you don't see my party is there eating. That is the gathering. You could see my party and Baby are in the same table, that the GMC and the Gambia All People Party. And over there is Dr. Sise Fabaka Tombonjata, and you have the NCP representative who is the Minister of Forestry. Is here. You have Mama Kande over there. You have Musa Bachili over there. So this is the quarterly breakfast. That's Honorable Kande over there. That's Musa Bachili over there. The GAP party leader. You have Honorable Mama Kande. You have the civil society. That's Dr. Tal. All of them are here at the FICC meeting, and you could see Honorable Salah of PDOIS2. All of them are here. All the 17 political parties are here, and I'm sure this will gonna be a very interesting deliberation, because Gambia definitely need this dialogue with the pollution in our political arena. You know, too much of divisive and so many things. I think such dialogue is important for us to shape the future of this country, and nobody can do it without us. And I have seen Dr. Tal here, who is representing the civil society. That's Dr. Tal over here, representing the civil societies here. So almost all sectors of our political spectrum, and even the IEC, the chairman is here representing. So all of them are here gathered today. So I'm off. I'm going to take my breakfast. Then I will be back. I have to eat. Bye.